Hey everyone, welcome back to the Track Limits podcast presented by Formula Addicts. The Qatar Grand Prix has just ended. We are here in Creator Club in Toronto, and wow, we have a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
Feven seems annoyed.
Feven seems a bit annoyed, but we are going to find out why in a couple of seconds. Let me rank everybody really quickly. 10th, you had Sergio Perez.
He finished in 10th?
Yeah?
Yeah, he actually got 10th.
I thought it was 8th. He took another penalty?
The penalty.
How many penalties? He
know.
had 2 minimum.
Yeah. Did he serve the second one?
I think he did. 9th, you had Joe, which was pretty incredible from
That's
P19 to 9. 8th, you had Valtteri Bottas. In 7th, you had Ocon. 6th, Alonso. 5th, Charles Leclerc. 4th, George Russell. 3rd, Lando Norris. 2nd, Oscar Piastri. And finally, Max Verstappen, crowned champion of the world in 2023. 3 times in a row now.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible.
Lewis hasn't won a race since.
I know, ESPN.
Oh, that's crazy. I just took that
Crazy. Speaking of Lewis, DNFs included him. Carlos Sainz obviously did not start the race because of a leak, and you had the fastest lap going to Verstappen. Right over to you, Red Bull man. Your thoughts on this championship weekend?
We're just going to play Super Max in the background. I think that says it all.
Max Verstappen.
What was it? When he got up and he was just like,
That's all I have to say. Boom. Done.
If this wasn't Max's weekend, though, I think it was Oscar's weekend. What an incredible show he just put on.
Yep.
I mean, he got a win over Lando, which is, I don't know if we're calling sprint races a win, but if we are.
No, a win's a win, man.
A win's a win.
Then look at that. He's done it over Lando, where Lando has been there with the team for 4 years, 5 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get it done. So, but it's going to be exciting to see it next year.
Yep.
Them battling it out. Piastri still shows a bit of lack in the race pace, where Lando has that advantage over him. But if he can fix that, then, dude, he's going to be the number one driver.
And you were
soon.
even saying that you thought Red Bull might not win constructors next year.
Definitely not. If they keep Checo and if he keeps continuing to struggle the way he is, absolutely not. We know that Max will push this car or their next RB20 to the limits. But if he doesn't, then it's anyone's show next year.
Yeah, McLaren have a real standing chance. And actually Aston Martin too. I think they showed such a promising start to the season. I think if next year they figure out what the heck happened in the back half of the season, there actually will be a closer match, and I think more of an exciting racing to watch. I think Max will definitely run away with it again for sure next year.
It'll be closer though, because teams have more of a
Yeah.
chance to get caught up. So it definitely will be closer. I completely agree with Henny. Max needs a teammate, and Checo's not a teammate right now.
I want to feel bad, and I want to feel like I want to root for him, but he's making it hard to be his fan.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's pushing too hard. Like he shouldn't.
I don't think he's pushing at all.
No, those track limits today was because he was pushing like a lunatic.
Or because, you've said this, Henny, before, he's just not connected to the car in the same way Max is. I mean, Max didn't have a single track limits violation. Not one
Just put
strike.
Yeah, there's a psychological warfare that he's going on when he's in that car, because he is against a teammate who is extracting the absolute best out of that car. And there's so much pressure and there's so much negative... not people hoping you'd fail, but there are people that want to be proven wrong. So it's hard to go into a battle where you're almost set up not to fail, but you have to climb to get to or prove people wrong. So I think he's letting that choke him, and he's choking. And you see this on continuous race after race, and it's even in qualifying, and it's just he's making errors that are almost too rookie for a man who's been in this sport for far too long.
And then the same can be said too for Aston Martin. We have Alonso versus Stroll. And we're seeing that gap throughout the whole season. And it's falling apart for Stroll. We saw it this weekend. He had a scuffle with his garage teammates, which was unseen.
Apparently he said, my trainer is a bro. That's what he said. It's not a problem.
We're pushing each other.
He's a bro.
He's a bro.
Don't bro me.
But even when he took off his wheel and he flung it out of the car, it's a sign of you can all be frustrated, but it's a sign of
disrespect.
Yeah, it's disrespect. You can't
hot take. I also think it just shows how he's still in the sport. He still has passion and he still has fire. It seems like he's a competitor at the end. And so I think like if you're playing a sport and you feel like you have the potential, but everything is going against you, it's hard. I feel like we have to give grace. Yeah, it's definitely wrong. You shouldn't physically shove anyone. But like, I think the good thing is he's not checked out.
No. And you can actually see the difference too. With him, he's 24 years old.
Yeah.
Checo's in his 30s.
Mm-hmm.
He's I can say there's more pressure on Checo, but you can see he's still handling it well. He's still positive coming into race weekends. Stroll's doing the same, but you can see that age gap and the maturity where Checo doesn't react that way, even though he's had how many low performances, right? So it's interesting to see that spectrum between different drivers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's different pressures. One, your father owns your father owns the team versus there's an advisor that basically despises you. So without getting far,
different dynamics.
Different dynamics between the two.
Speaking of dynamic, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Mercedes. All right, we had a lot of hate coming to George Russell after Japan. A lot of people that were like, look, you're not playing the team game. Lewis was faster. Same thing in Singapore. Lewis could have gotten potentially up to P1. And then you have a turn 1 incident. Now, I think everybody here immediately was maybe quick to say, okay, George, what the hell? But Lewis comes out after and says, it was my responsibility, my fault. I decided to turn in. It wasn't George's fault. He had nowhere else to go. Is that fine, or do we still think that there might be some bitterness that might carry over to future races?
I'll leave it up to her.
Speak your mind, Feven.
I don't know. I think I said in the last, maybe it was the last race reflection, but like this main character energy that George Russell is giving, it needs to be checked. Like it needs to be checked, as in, and maybe the incident, obviously there wasn't a lot of room for him to go anywhere, and in the end, he did have the best result despite for George, and Lewis maybe thought potentially that George would concede given that he was starting on softs, and maybe play the longer team be a team player and maybe break earlier and give him more space. I don't know what happened, and I'm not excusing Lewis. I am a Lewis fan, but I think it's just in general, like some of the commentary, even when George during the sprint race was like asking for a pit, like during a sprint race, during this, say the second, I think it was the second safety car, and he's like, I need to box, and they're like, no, you can't. And I think it's just this, like, I know he's such a competitor and he really wants to win and push, but he continuously shows that he doesn't know, like he's not, as you said, we're just maturity. He just doesn't have it yet. And Lewis is just a lot more wise. So I'm so disappointed to see the mistake that he's made today. And I'm glad he's owned up to it, but I really need George to sit back.
Yeah.
Just like quick sec, just learn from the master.
But put yourself also, I mean, maybe in George's shoes too. I mean, he did beat Lewis last year, first season coming into Mercedes, right? Put the car on pole, right? Also won in Brazil. Like he's coming in probably thinking, hey, maybe I am the future. And yeah, there's a lot to learn from Lewis, but I'm not going to, concede and not at least battle Lewis if the opportunity arises.
No, but they're, fighting for second in championship.
True.
So it is a team sport-ish. Obviously you have your individual game, your individual race, but it is a team sport. And I think the wiser, like if you were Sainz, what would you do?
Correct. That's fair.
Right?
Yeah,
how would you approach it? I think being a little bit more, and that comes with time and experience and just like wisdom that you get from like racing longer or being in this sport longer. But I think, he didn't have really a lot of time to make a decision in that matter. Like he was in between two cars. What is he going to do?
Mikey, your thoughts?
No, I think Feven wrapped it up quite well there.
I'm getting involved.
No, like initially looking at it, I was fuming at Russell because I thought he'd understeered into Lewis. But to comment on Feven's point as well, is they both were on different strategies. Like Russell was on mediums, Lewis was on softs. Yep. Lewis had the grip, he went around the outside. Did Lewis turn in too soon? George nowhere to go. Yes, on the replay, I hate to say it, but I feel like, it was a racing incident. I think Lewis wasn't wrong. He turned in. Russell didn't know where to go. I will give credit where credit is due. Russell pitted, was at the back of the grid, and he fought like a dog to get back to the top. So as much as, sure, maybe he made a few mistakes in other races and he's trying to challenge Lewis, but you can't discredit his effort today. Like
No, it was good.
to get to fourth, like compared to Leclerc had a great starting
think he was
position.
13th
Leclerc
or
didn't do
14th.
that much
Yeah.
moves.
Oh, yeah.
So like in hindsight, then you look at it, been like, oh, what if it was Lewis and George
Yeah.
battling the whole way
Doing that.
through the pack?
Could have been a double podium.
it
They
really.
could have challenged McLaren.
yeah.
Really
No
could
one
have.
challenged Piastri this race.
No.
No.
Piastri cruised. Okay, Lando caught up to him, but
Yeah.
no one challenged him. I know you say like Piastri's lacking race pace. Have we seen Piastri been pushed to the limit?
I mean, we did last week or the last race, Japan. And
And
Norris had much better pace.
He caught up to him
Yeah.
fairly fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pity about Lewis crashing
Yeah.
out today. I think maybe he
The
was at
Merc
fault.
race pace definitely looked stronger than McLaren.
It really
did.
did.
This
It
is
looked
scary.
stronger than McLaren.
Imagine.
Yeah.
They haven't even figured it out yet.
Yeah.
So if they do,
Yeah.
That's why I was
That's
like,
amazing.
damn, if only both of them were racing, like
Yeah.
this would have been a pretty spectacular finish for the both of them, and it would have almost got Lewis to catch up to Checo in
Yes.
the for
Drivers'
second,
Championship.
for drivers championship. So
And I know there's some people on Twitter, this is classic Twitter, but a lot of people that were like, well, if Hamilton didn't get knocked out, he had come in, he would have been P1. He could have even beat Verstappen. Do we think Max was beatable today? Today with that Merc pace? No.
I would say they're Delulu.
Yeah.
Just saying.
All right. So Delulu.
Lulu.
Yeah.
nothing
No.
in the
No.
at least in the data would ever show that they had that kind of pace.
That's fair.
I think they would have caught up to McLaren,
That's fair.
Yeah.
They would have had a
or
multi-battle.
or had McLaren, or they would have been a battle between because they started P2 and 3.
Yeah.
So McLaren, they would have been a
Yeah,
battle
they were
between
6th and
Mercedes.
10th.
Yeah.
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 So
So before going to best moment, I'm curious, Lando Norris, the whole weekend had a tough weekend in the sense of maybe not even results wise, more just mentally. When you look at him in interviews, he's defeated. He clearly is blaming himself a lot for mistakes that he made, sprint qualifying obviously as well. You know, is he driver number 2?
No.
Or is that too
I think
soon?
it's too soon.
Too
Way
soon,
too soon.
right?
Too soon.
Because it's funny enough, ever since Russia, I don't remember him making these major mistakes. It
No.
was the car's performance that
Yep.
lacked to that. But when he had a car that was good, he rarely makes mistakes. I think he's a really good driver.
Yep.
So I don't think anytime soon that would ever happen. And the McLaren's dynamic, I don't think they will even do a 1-2.
No.
Or even do team orders unless it's like optimal points. They will do it. Like today, they want to maximize and cover Russell, and they did it. But other than that, I don't anticipate them doing number 1 driver, number 2. Unless it's clearly
when
there.
was the last time Norris had a teammate that really challenged him?
Norris?
Carlos.
And it's been a few years.
Yeah.
And so I think we're starting to see that maybe he was comfortable where he was, and now it's actually, I think we'll extract the best out of him.
Yep.
Like, I know he's like, the things he says are a little depressing, and I really am giving if
wanna give
you're
him a hug.
watching this, Norris,
Yeah.
like, we're giving you a mental hug.
Yeah.
And we're sending you such good vibes. I mean, he did the best that he could, and he had such great results.
Yep.
But like, I'm really glad to see that there is a teammate who is pushing the crazy beep out of him.
Yep.
Facts.
Yeah.
Best moment? Anyone have anything that they want to share here?
Best moment.
Anything that got you out of your feet potentially, other than turn 1? yeah.
Oh yeah, we were all
Hey,
shouting.
look at Joe and Bottas. They're up there in the points.
Yeah.
That's good to see.
Yeah.
That's good to see.
result.
P19 to P9. I was surprised
Yeah.
he wasn't even nominated for driver of the
Actually,
day.
Yeah.
He wasn't, or he was?
He wasn't in the
No.
top 3.
No, I wasn't in
He
there.
wasn't in the
I
top
feel
3.
like people have like kind of forgotten about Alfa Romeo,
Probably. But hey, 2
but
cars
such
in the
good
points.
results
Yeah.
Yeah.
for them.
They actually now are ahead of Haas.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty great.
That's something.
Also in the constructors, after this weekend, there's only 11 points now
Yes.
between McLaren and Aston Martin.
Didn't I call it
Yeah.
Yeah.
in Belgium? I was
And,
like,
like,
it's doable.
I don't think it's a challenge. I think McLaren got to walk it.
Yeah. And now it's Ferrari. They're
Yeah.
hunting Ferrari now.
That's because they're there's a,
How
they're
many
like
races do
Ferrari's
we
like
have left?
298.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, McLaren have to continue doing P2, P3
They
for
can
the rest
have
of
it,
them.
though.
But
They can
even
have it.
think of the
Why
next
not?
track, there's so much high speed corners in there.
Yeah.
There's long straights and there's
Yeah.
high speed corners.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
can do it.
My
Oh,
best
no.
moment was definitely a pit stop, a world championship pit stop.
Yeah.
Wait,
1.8
world
by
record,
McLaren.
Yeah.
beating world record.
It's
you
pretty
mean?
incredible when you think about it.
They just got swept under like nothing
Literally.
happened. Yeah, no.
We all
didn't
looked
even
at it, we're like,
announce- they
hang
didn't
on,
even announce
1.8.
We thought it was a glitch, though. To be fair,
Yeah.
we're
We're
like,
like, nah,
there's no way. And then even the next one after that for Lando, what, 2.1?
One, yeah, it was consistent.
Yeah.
What were they on?
They're on something. They're on crack or something.
We got to talk to Callum about this.
Yeah.
See how he's feeling.
Like, come on.
You know those Red Bull guys are going to go after it.
Oh,
yeah.
Championship is done. Drivers' championship is done.
What else is
Let's
left?
go.
Yeah.
World
They have
record
everything
for
left.
fastest pit stop.
They're like
Yeah.
Red Bull, like the race strategy for next one would be like 2 stops. They're like, no, we're doing 4 stops.
Yeah.
until
We're
we
gonna
prove-
practice this.
Yep, it's gonna happen.
Biggest surprise and letdown, though.
Biggest surprise and letdown. Oh, biggest surprise, the tire Pirelli allocations, all that going into the weekend. I thought I had no idea I couldn't understand it. There was no precedence. I didn't know that this was even a thing that they could do where you have to have mandatory pit stop. And given that it was 18, it was 57
Yep.
or 59 laps. 57. So you had 4 laps left. So it was
Had
just
to,
it was
Girl
such
math.
girl math. I was like, is that me free? Is it free? No, it was just, and then the fact that like everybody knew how many tires of each tires were left for a team. Like I thought it really threw a curveball to the strategy, given the fact that everybody knew when they had to kind of pit. So it was interesting to kind of go in to it not in a typical setting or setup. So like for me that was like a surprising element to this race. And
Did
I'm
you
like,
enjoy that format, though? Like that mandatory 3
No.
pit stops? No, you didn't?
no, it's not that. I didn't like the 18 laps because now you're like, oh, Max is on his 17. He has to pit before X lap, and you're like, okay, so they were kind of trying to push to have enough margin. It wasn't as I guess surprising.
Felt
Strategic,
scripted,
yeah.
maybe?
Scripted, structured, and I think that I like the element of surprise, or when they like fake it, you know, like box where they stay out, and, you know, like.
I kind of liked it. Like at the end of it, Piastri came out and said it was crazy because you had 3 mandatory stops. You didn't have to reserve the tires. You had to push like crazy. And he even said it was qualifying lap after qualifying lap. I kind of like that approach to it. But I do agree with you. It's tough to compare when someone's only restricted to, they've only 1 set of new hards and someone has 1 set of new mediums. And you know you're only staying for 18 laps.
Yep.
You can only push so hard on what you're given. So that took a little bit away from it. But that extra mandatory stop, it's not a bad call. Like it'd be great to do a little test on it.
But like the call being made after the sprint, like it was
that
the
was-
fact
that was
that
tough
like,
on teams.
oh, okay, so now you've used up all your hard or your softs
Mediums
or mediums during the sprint. So now you have a used medium and 1 soft or 1 hard, and you're having your strategies now not about the race. It's about tire management and how to allocate when to go on those tires.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if that's as exciting for me.
Yeah, I also don't think this is gonna constantly happen. And I think it was a moment of they understood, oh crap, this can be another incident where everyone's get punctures,
Yeah.
and we're gonna have safety issues.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think this was a great test for him to be like, okay, well, these tires can last 18 laps.
Yeah.
Let's see the data on this so that for future races, we never have this issue where we can come in and be like, well, they need 2 extra sets of tires. We know the heat, we know the gravel intakes
Yeah.
and all of that to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Has this ever happened?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
there was
we-
a
yeah,
race
we
before
asked-
where all the tires failed.
Yeah, Mario. We asked the Mario about this.
Yeah,
it was
back
like
he
2010?
2010 or 2009, one of the 2.
Yeah.
But he mentioned where there was a ton of punctures.
I feel like we talked. Yeah.
It was like
There's
the biggest
also-
failure.
Yeah.
There was also an instance where Bridgestone were in the sport as well,
Yeah.
and one of the tire compounds failed. So then it was only the teams that used the other manufacturer
tires.
could race.
Yeah.
And that's why it kind of came.
Well, the
it's that
sad
one
part
time-
too is there were rumors that Pirelli signing a 2-year extension after this Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also this Grand Prix. It was like no one's been at this track for a while.
Correct.
They
Since
did some changes.
2021.
New tarmac.
Yeah.
Yeah, resurfaced.
Yep.
The curbs were high.
The
There's a lot of. Hey,
pointy-
they adapted quick. As much
did.
as everyone wants
Yeah.
to give them crap,
Correct.
they adapted quick. They changed the track limits to adapt for the higher curbs.
Yep.
So
And another big letdown, I think, was Carlos Sainz and Sergio Perez, Mikey. Don't you think? I think
oh yeah,
2
100%. Explain, please.
Can I mean, before the race, we made a bet.
Y'all are
And the
such
bet
assholes.
happened to include sniffing salts, I believe. And well, we picked drivers, and the worst 2 drivers had to result in 2 people on our team doing the salt challenge. So what did you pick there, Mikey?
Well, let's just say Feven never made it out of the pits.
Okay, first
Did not
off,
make it out of the pit.
She didn't even make it. Signs.
Mr.
I
Carlos
made it out of the pit.
You just proceed to collect every penalty point out
my
there.
engineers let me down.
I went with Leclerc,
Yes.
and I think it was a solid pick,
I went with Lando Norris. I think it was a solid pick.
safe pick.
Thank you. And we had Sergio Perez and Madame Carlos Sainz.
Listen, we were actually like thinking outside the box for once.
To be fair, if Checo didn't get as many penalties, I was a little worried at one stage
Oh,
because
yeah. Oh,
Norris
honestly.
was moving up to the pack.
Wait.
Leclerc was kind of sitting stagnant, so I
Yeah.
generally was
I'll
a
let
little
you.
bit
Let you.
Before Henny, you do this though, please tell them what are we gonna feel here, or what are you gonna feel, sorry?
I don't know.
Well, this is called smelling salts.
Yep.
And we're about to sniff this.
I actually have butterflies. I don't
There's
know
no,
how to
there's
do
no we. There's a you and there's a Feven.
this.
We are going to sniff this
I feel like
as a
this is an
punishment.
attack against
just
the brother
curious.
and sister here. Oh, you're supposed to like.
Yeah, you
hold it.
keep the cap on. You gotta keep the cap on, and then just quick sniff.
Bro,
Oh, yeah, you can smell it.
Bro, I don't
Nice little hit.
Yeah.
Yo.
want it. How do I get out?
How is it?
Yeah, you feel good? PR?
Oh, let's
Hulk.
go.
Come on, Feven. You gotta do it. You
Oh my
gotta do
Got
it.
it, girl.
Oh my god, it makes me sweating. I hate challenges. I like when I win.
Wow.
Signs, you let me down.
I can live. Feven's hands are trembling.
I'm actually so scared. Okay.
Got this. Like
Okay.
a full sniff.
Full step.
My heart.
We
is
need to hear
too
the
Come
mic.
on.
No,
come
you
on.
got this, buddy. Full step. Oh, Jesus Christ. You get.
Oh my god.
Now tomorrow you can hit your PR.
Damn.
Oh my god, I didn't expect that. I saw
Okay.
Jesus. He said, "Stay back on her."
While they're recovering,
While they're recovering. Go ahead.
what did you think of? I know everyone is giving these drivers crap, but you got to think of Checo,
Yep.
Lance,
Yep.
and Sargent.
Yeah.
You did not sniff. There's no way you sniffed.
What do you think of Sargent?
I did.
He locked up the brakes in sprint.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, but after the race, I heard you guys were saying that like there was a lot of other drivers that were like failing. Like Ocon got sick in his own helmet.
Yep.
Like,
I feel like I'm
Sargent-
gonna get sick in my helmet.
What helmet?
This was not a good transition.
No, this is not a good
Want
transition.
to try?
Not a chance.
But
Nah.
I mean, lap 15, like you said, Ocon apparently yacked in his helmet.
Yeah.
You had Oscar Piastri and Max lying down in the cool down room.
Sargent, like he didn't DNF, but he
No.
did stop. He did retire
Couldn't
the
make
car.
it. Lance Stroll had
Yeah.
to go right to the emergency. I'm
What are you
curious.
talking about?
In terms of the drivers feeling
sick, yeah.
like this race was actually
yeah.
way too hard on them. The humidity, the heat, all combined. What do you guys think? And I know when we were chatting about this, also I brought up Bahrain 2005, 42.6 degrees Celsius,
Yeah.
very hot race. People were literally pouring water on drivers when they went into the pit
Yeah.
lane.
Alonso today was like, he was like,
Pour,
My
pour
ass is
water.
on
Pour
fire.
water. He's like, it's so
My
hot.
ass is on fire.
But is that an FIA mistake? Is there anything they could have done to prevent this?
I mean, it's too late. Maybe
Yeah.
if like 4 or 5 drivers decide to DNF early on, like mid race, they'd be like, okay, we need to shorten this race and end it here. Red flag, whatever it is, and just end the race there.
Yep.
But it just seems like it was like a cause and effect. Like it happened at the end when everyone was able to.
Was Singapore not just as long or not as
But it wasn't.
humid?
It was humid, but it wasn't as hot.
Yeah, it wasn't
When
as
you
hot.
add those two things together, you've been on a beach where it was hot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was humid. You kind of want to yak. You get nauseous.
I've had a
now
heat
imagine
stroke.
them at 300 kilometers
Yeah.
an hour, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, yeah. I
You
mean,
can't even I can't talk. This has caused me
But
to
also,
have heat stroke.
think of the amount of fastest laps there was. Everyone was pushing.
Yeah.
There was no, you couldn't relax. You couldn't save your tires. You had 18 laps. You had to push.
It was a qualifying
So
lap every
I think
lap,
that
every
added to the intensity.
Yeah.
And drivers
100%.
felt that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet there will be a briefing on it. And
100%.
obviously,
big
one.
100%.
for any of the drivers, by the way, apparently Lando Norris had a few passed out as well. Please recover well. Like, actually, it's tragic to see
Use
stuff like that
some
happen.
sniffing salts. It seems
Yeah.
to work
Yeah.
wonders
Well, wake them right up.
What is that used for?
to go to the gym tomorrow morning. Try it.
Stop it.
Yeah. In the morning, hit it.
I did get like a high in my head. Like I thought I was like about to like.
The table.
Throw everything.
Also, I can't smell out of this nostril, so
It's stuff. Yeah, it's stuffy.
yeah.
All right, what are we looking forward to next race? Austin is coming up. We might be there? Question mark. I mean, it would be depressing if we're not there, but I think we might be there. But even
Some
if
of
we're
us.
not, it's going to be an exciting race. You have a very high incline, 133 feet up to turn
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Very
Incredible
unique.
track. Are we predicting just another Max win or anything changing up in terms of the order?
Max will have it. Let's hope Russell doesn't punt signs again like last year.
yeah,
remember he
that.
punted him? Because he was even in the cool down room. Someone went to Lewis, been like, "What happened to signs?" And they're like, "Oh, George punted him." Let's Mercedes.
Yes.
This will be a great track for them.
Yep.
Let's see a challenge between them and McLaren.
Yep.
Let's see Aston Martin get back in the mix.
Danny Ricks, he's coming back in
Is
Austin.
he coming
Yeah,
back?
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
Well,
right,
I
it
mean,
might be.
his social media, he said, "I'll see you in Austin."
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe, but I would hope to see him on the track.
There's a lot of positives in this track coming. Like it's good to see where everyone's at.
Yep.
And especially because everyone's given like the second drivers, Checo, Lance, Sargent. We talk about a lot.
Pressure.
Like
Yep.
even for Sargent, let's just say the team principal said that we want Sargent to stay, but he's
Yep.
got certain goals to meet. Now, not to be rude, spinning out in the sprint and DNF, and they were not in those goals.
Yeah.
You know, he was desperate on the radio today trying to push.
Yep.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's see what he can do.
I like that. Home Grand Prix for him.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
it is.
that
Grand
brings,
Prix,
but that
yeah.
brings so much more to it
Logan.
as well.
Yeah.
Americans, you want to do
pressure.
well. You
Yep.
want to be cheered on.
Henny,
So-
is there anyone else that has the pressure coming to Coda?
Checo.
Oh, Lando. Huge pressure. I think he wants to forget about this week and move on. And
he
if Piastri,
still had good results.
Doesn't matter. He's
Doesn't
putting
matter.
himself in that pressure. He's
Yeah.
the number one driver. He's been
This
there.
is how you choke. This is
that's
what
why
I'm saying.
he has to leave it behind as well.
He has to, yeah.
And start fresh. Forget that Piastri, what he did. He had an incredible week, and just leave it behind and hope you have a great race. The car is well suited for it too, so I see no reason why he can't get another podium.
Pause. Is Checo confirmed for next year?
He is.
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
His contract is set.
But they might break it.
Yeah.
We shall see.
possibility, yeah.
It's like what McLaren
Like
did
in
with
6
Danny
months?
Rick. They broke the contract.
Yeah.
You just
Even
pay it
before
out.
the end of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I think if he loses
like
P2,
tomorrow.
then
Oh, man.
that boardroom is gonna be a big boardroom of people saying money or versus constructors.
Correct.
What do we do?
Yeah.
That's the end goal.
One more hit of sniffing salts or no?
No, honestly, you guys have
I
to
think
try
you
it
guys should.
because
Bets were
Yeah.
made. You lose the bet. You do the
No,
challenge.
but it's like it's not as painful as doing
No.
the hot sauce.
no, like
It's
that.
just a shock
Just
to your
try it.
brain.
Just try it. You were so curious.
Yeah.
You were curious,
No.
Mikey.
Just try it.
No.
Michael, come on, as your wife.
As your wife.
Oh, damn.
Okay, you're doing it as well then.
If you do it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh.
That's how you end an episode.
Bro, okay, I am not doing it.
No. You said yes. You said yes.
Bro, are you
I
serious?
swear to God, it's like I got stabbed
Go,
in the
go, go, go,
nostrils.
go, 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 go. Just quick.
It's like wasabi?
Oh,
No.
it's
not
only
even
4
close.
seconds, but god damn.
You need to sit.
You did
need to
not
sit.
sniff.
It's
Yeah.
like chlorine. It's like when you go into
No.
the pool.
You did not
No,
sniff.
if it,
No.
I
if
did.
it feels like
No.
chlorine, he did not sniff.
All right. Well, that was a great episode. I promise we do not do this outside of this episode. But
Why would anyone do this?
no one should do this? But those are the challenges that we're going to be doing coming up. So
Tell us if
No,
you have
we're
any
not.
recommendations.
Stop building
Yes,
this up.
drop-
This is a once
Drop
off.
it in the comments.
Literally.
See what challenges you want to see. I'm curious. I've been the one like spearheading these challenges, and I'm
Also,
kind of running dry on
You
ideas.
gotta slowly momentum up to challenges. You can't go from hot sauce to sniffing salts.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Well, I
Wait,
mean,
I
we
don't
are
know-
waiting for a
Is,
package
is
right
this
now.
a bad?
Oh.
No, I think
Challenge?
the hot sauce is worse than that.
Oh yeah, this is momentary.
Yeah. That thing
Actually,
lasts
no,
like
I
20
won't lie,
minutes.
I feel grand now. But
Yeah.
that was 4 seconds of like my nostril got stabbed.
Now imagine doing 8 reps right after that.
Honestly, I couldn't follow any conversation for like until like
The
recently.
the next online sim race we do, we just gotta
Oh,
do a
do
crack
that quickly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your starts are going to be ridiculous. Oh my
It just
God.
wipes the whole time.
Yeah.
All right, amazing.
Thank you all for watching once again. I hope you enjoyed the Qatar Grand Prix and a reflection episode. As always, by the way, like, subscribe, and by the way, we have a few more really cool guest interviews coming out. We're pushing till the end, till the end of
Broke the
season
table.
1.
Broke it.
So make sure as much as possible to check those out. Give us some love, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
See ya.